Enemies approaching! Loghain sends it.
When? Is this yours?
Oh, my bag of components. Thank you, dear. I was wondering where it got to.
You left it by the fire at camp.
Oh, yes. I remember now. How age creeps up on you and brings with it forgetfulness.
You're a great mage, Wen, and you're sharper and wiser than many people I know. Some young ones, too.
Oh, but you should have seen me 15, 20 years ago. The fires have dimmed somewhat since then. But thank you, Leliana, for picking up after this old lady.
It has begun.
What can I do for you? This ought to be interesting. Such diction. This man is a true scholar and rhetorician. I am honored to be fired by one such as he. Good day.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant. Someone has to. Trade with other races can dry up. We surfacers are Orzammar's lifeline, even if we're denied a caste. The Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone, but they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites.
That's not right. Someone should do something.
Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown. Twice a year, I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it. Best of luck to you.
This about the guild? I swear, I didn't tell them anything. I just took the sovereigns.
Heard about all those mages in Lake Callanhard. They up and turned into a pack of demons.
No. Did the Templars kill them all, at least?
Nope, I guess they got better.
More likely working with the Darkspawn to take us over.
I don't even want to think about it.
You have some kind of problem. Oh? What was this about? I worried this might happen. I hoped it wouldn't be you who came for me. I have no choice. Forgive me, Warden, but I cannot go back with you.
Enemies approaching!
Let's end this! May they be praised!
Very well. Step right up, friend, and have a look at the finest selection of almost new armor and weaponry east of Orzammar. Yes, well, I don't like to brag, but I've got some fine things here. Almost straight from the Royal Armoury. Only took a slight detour on the way. Pillage is such a harsh word, friend. I don't pillage anything. I'm a salvager. I rescue quality-made goods from rust and neglect, a saviour to abandoned equipment. Canary? I'm afraid I don't know the word. Oh, them. Well, I have a few shields here. I had one sword, but I sold it already. A collector. I can't go telling you all about my paying customers. One, it's not ethical, and two, it's bad for business. A lot of my customers are sensitive types. They don't want their personal business related to every stranger who happens along. What? You think my principles are for sale? They are, of course, but not cheap. 5 sovereigns. If I'd known he was still breathing, I would have used a knife. I mean, I'd have been more careful. Redcliffe. The guy who bought it lives in Redcliffe. He's a collector. A dwarf named Dwyn, I think. I don't want any trouble. If you see that giant, tell him I don't have it, would you? I don't, I swear. 3? I call it highway robbery, but I'd be smearing the good name of highwaymen everywhere. Fine. Here's your blood money. Take it and go. I've told you what I know. If you'll excuse me, I've had quite enough stress over this. Oh, certainly.
King Loghain will not suffer the delay of his appointed messenger.
Vieta, this land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
They hide because they are dwarves.
I would challenge any race to fare as well. Our king is dead. Dukan returned to the Stone Knot 3 weeks ago. The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
Wait, who are you to speak for Ferelden? You're no messenger to Loghain, that's for certain.
Thank the ancestors.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden. What? Lies and slander! King Loghain will not suffer this. I will not suffer it. I'm his messenger.
Kill each other as you will, but take your sodding fight off my doorstep.
Enemies approaching.
King will reward me for this.
I'll have your head, Grey Warden.
We must gain the advantage. Really suits you.
Very well. As you say.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched? You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Atrost follow, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. We prefer that outsiders not witness our infighting, but your presence will be tolerated.
I haven't eaten in days. I haven't eaten in days.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her. She...
Don't say that! Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Yes, Mother.
Show respect, Surfacer. You're in the Hall of Heroes, home to the best of us. Paragons, dwarves who achieve such greatness, they're considered ancestors even if they yet walk among us. If only we had one now. A unifier. A voice like that, there would be no dissension. Surfacers always assume nothing happens underground without them. Many are trying, despite our stalemate. Goodbye, Warden. I hope you're not needed. Leave me.
What was that soup you made for supper last night?
Oh, that's a traditional Ferelden lamb and pea stew. Do you like it?
Oh, so it was lamb then. It had a certain texture I don't normally associate with lamb.
They didn't make lamb and pea stew for you in Lothering?
We ate simply there. Whole grains made into biscuits or bread, and vegetables from the garden, cooked lightly. No heavy stews.
Ah, so the last lamb you had was probably cooked Orlesian style. Food shouldn't be frilly and pretentious like that. Now, here in Ferelden, we do things right. We take our ingredients, throw them in the largest pot we can find, and cook them for as long as possible until everything is a uniform grey color. As soon as it looks completely bland and unappetizing, that's when I know it's done.
You're having me on.
Ha! You need to eat in more Ferelden inns.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Bhelen incite a riot.
Not speak that way about the man who should be king! Idiots. I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. I find that sodding fool, I'll have him in the Legion. Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the Commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Bhelen, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Bhelen speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. See, that's why I don't want you surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Bhelen and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry. Personal battles for honor and ancestor. I don't expect a surfacer to understand. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. Yes, you should.
For a tiny people, they certainly build high ceilings.
Did you see that? I cannot believe what this city has come to. This would never have happened when Endrin was alive. Lord Harrowmont should be our king. He was King Endrin's closest advisor, the only one he could trust. Endrin himself, ancestors welcome him, asked the Assembly to endorse Harrowmont. Aye. What a terrible burden for a father to have only Bhelen left of 3 fine sons. In the end, Endrin himself recognized that Bhelen cared for nothing but power. It was Endrin who ordered his son away from his deathbed and embraced Lord Harrowmont as his heir. Everybody knows he killed his brother Trian and let his father's favorite son take the blame. And many question whether Endrin died abed, as we were told, or whether Bhelen helped him along. He is a good man and a skilled general. King Endrin trusted him with his life, and I will do no less. I am Narav Helmi, 3rd daughter of the 2nd matron of House Helmi. And you, stranger, what brings you to Orzammar at such a time? A Grey Warden? That explains why they allowed you past the gates. What kind of aid do you need? A blight? Now? But our warriors are killing each other in the streets. I'm sorry, stranger. I fear there will be no aid for you in Orzammar. If you seek Lord Harrowmont's support, I suggest you talk with his trusted advisor, Dulin Faryn. He might be able to get you an audience.
I have heard much about the halls of the Dwarven kings, but the stories do it no justice. It is so strange, harsh, yet beautiful. And have you seen those tiny pig-like burrowing animals? They are adorable. I wish I could have one as a pet. But they must be hard to catch and... Oh, just ignore me. I'm so silly sometimes. Let's just go.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs? I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Gotta boil them before roasting, but otherwise no, safe as sand. Some people swear they make good pets. May as well leash a turnip, I say. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
The deep roads are home to the Darkspawn now. Oddly, they're supposed to be safer to travel during a blight.
As you say.
You look like you're not from around here. Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Oh, my lady, it's an honor. I've never met an actual mage. Is it true you can manipulate nature's forces with your mind? Like you were born with lyrium in your veins?
Don't let the glamour fool you, child. Wielding magic is a dangerous occupation, and a great responsibility.
I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. I want to go to the Circle to study. I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. What do you mean? Oh, you're looking for payment. My father's shop refines lyrium for smithing. If you help me, I'm sure I could get you some. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Teventer Imperium's Verticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Greetings, and welcome to Garin Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad thing. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging. Then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work I've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself. Of course we are. Weak surfacers like you touch the raw ore, and you'll bleed from your eyeballs in hours. Weird seeing how big you are. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck. Not crazy, just a little forgetful. Don't worry, I'm fine when I work. Just look at my wares. I have the best blades here. Enchanted to hold fire, ice, anything you want to put in it. Right, best in the trade, you know. I work the ore myself.
What's this? A human? Did we make these tunnels tall enough for humans? I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesh's permission. And I've heard nothing of any new patrols scheduled to leave today.
Don't let the comm fool you. The Darkspawn are down there, aren't they, Commander?
Either we finally have the edge, which I doubt, or the beasts are building up numbers for the next attack.
The surface? But I thought the vermin never went up that far except
during blights. Ancestors save us if that's what's happening. Of course not. Down here you're bound to run into giant spiders, deep stalkers, and other vermin. Ugly beasts they are. Walk on two legs, but they have the head of a worm and hunt in packs. Watch out. They're not afraid to take on a group their own size. A few outposts. Legion of the Dead, mostly. Fools that they are. Some scavenger types, too. Into the deep roads? Not without a full unit of soldiers to back you, my friend. Or Adesh's permission to risk yourself. Orzammar can't afford to lose its citizens or honored guests on casual visits to the deeps. For your sake, I hope you've no reason to come here again.
The closer you live to the surface, the higher class you are. Unless you're actually on the surface.
Could the end of Orzammar be nigh? The Lord Harrowmont and assure the future of Dwarven society.
It shall be done.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to the stone for you.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Bhelen today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Bhelen, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Bhelen is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Bhelen found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. That would be enlightening, though I hope you won't pry too deeply into things they don't wish revealed. If you wish to show your loyalty, enter the proving as his lordship's champion. With your order's reputation, I've no doubt the ancestors would favor your arm. Bhelen would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Gwyddon and Basil. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
I hope you'll support Lord Harrowmont.
I shall do it.
News of the hour. Lord Harrowmont entrenched in the past. How long can he ignore that Orzammar must change to survive?
Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
Hey. Right away.
I shall do it, as you say. It is begun.
Thanks again, Warden.
On my way.
It shall be done. As you say.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartag, top advisor to our good Prince Bhelen. What news do you bring? It would be hard not to notice the Grey Warden and his eclectic entourage. I hear you seek the aid of Orzammar's finest. Ah, ancient documents indeed. These were signed in the reign of Eithnar Bimo, Paragon and King. That was 16 generations ago. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. No one wishes this fight over more than Bhelen. But while it rages, Orzammar can spare no one to combat what may or may not be a new blight. I believe you, but what are we to do? If Bhelen followed his heart and sent his men to aid you, Harrowmont would steal his throne. We would defeat the blight and return to find our homeland devastated by an incompetent tyrant. Wait. We must be cautious about whom to trust, but perhaps we could find a way. Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception.
Irrefutable evidence? Which I suppose you have?
I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Very well, but do not expect my prince to see you as anything more than another ignorant surfacer. I will be here if you change your mind.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Desher's lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Bhelen's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Oh, Stone. You must be the Grey Warden. I completely forgot about the Gate Guard's message. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Bhelen or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories? Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. Not exactly, but... I'm looking for any birth records from the old Ortan Tig. It fell in the last blight, and my mother's family claims to be related. If I'm an Ortan, it means I'm noble. I'd have my own house, a seat in the Assembly. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Bhelen and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Shaperate guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad. Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
It shall be done.
Lord Bhelen is the voice of change and defense.
News of the hour. Dwyn promises radical changes that will offend the ancient paragons. Have our traditions no value?
2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Oghren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha! I'll...
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman. Can you believe it? Oghren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled. Oghren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branka. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino. The only paragon in the last 4 generations. Quite an honor for a girl from the Smith caste. She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly 1/3. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branka, Oghren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name. Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith, and Oghren was one of the best warriors of his generation. Chasing some old treasure, she was quite secretive, outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her. It's been 2 years since Branka left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Oghren wants to keep risking lives searching. If you see any guardsmen, tell them Oghren was at it again.
It has begun.
So, I've been hearing rumors that a certain wine merchant is falling behind on his payments.
I can't imagine what you mean. I pay my expenses.
What about the expenses your good friend Jarvia incurs when providing your protection? It's not easy ensuring nothing bad happens, that no one decides to just burn everything in your store.
My store! Please, I don't have much. Business isn't good. People are scared. Tell Jarvia I'll get her money.
Jarvia's not happy with your promises, old man. Now let's go inside and see what you've been holding back.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well. Looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
Is there a problem here, friend? Are these men threatening you?
Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. or I can't say what might happen. Whoa, whoa! All right, you win. I'm not gonna die for 10 lousy sovereigns.
Ancestors, bless you for saving my poor store. I don't know how to express my gratitude. I've never met her, of course. They say she never leaves Dusttown. That's the older area of the city where the casteless congregate. She's the one directing this depravity. Since good King Endrin died, they're getting bolder. They used to be a problem only in Dusttown, but now they're in the commons, shaking honest men down for coin. A band of casteless thugs. They're to blame for all the crime in Orzammar these days. They're criminals, and the children of criminals. The ancestors themselves declared them irredeemable. These casteless, they're all the same. Beggars, thugs, and murderers, everyone. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm grateful for your help, but I don't think we have any more to talk about. Did you have something more pleasant you wish to discuss? I'm showing you the lowest prices I can afford, I assure you.
I shall do it.
Welcome to Jannar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Jannar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him. He always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. For 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face, you're not a smith yourself. That she was. The best to walk these tunnels since Carradine himself. Threw it away, chasing old dreams, though. Didn't last 6 months as a noble before she set into the deep roads looking for ancient secrets. Now she's dead in the tunnels. All that brilliance, wasted. The best smith who ever lived, bar none. He gave us the secret of forging golems that could walk, talk, and defend our borders. When we had them, no dwarf had to risk himself against the Darkspawn. It was a golden age for the smith caste. His work was lost centuries ago when his tide fell to the Darkspawn. No one even knows where it is anymore. Has she been bothering you? Gets a whiff of surface stink and she's like a cave tick. Won't let go. Oh, good. Well, let me know if she does trouble you any. Of course, keep in mind we also take items on trade.
You're back? But it takes 2 weeks and 4 days minimum to make the journey to the Circle Tower.
I don't even know that. That's quite impressive.
And just a little disturbing. Why do I get the feeling charting routes to the Circle Tower is one of her favorite hobbies?
I'm guessing you haven't left yet. Well, I've waited 19 years. Another month won't kill me.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost in darkness.
Mothers keep him safe, for you know what it is to mourn. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Rak. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. The captains don't want to lose anyone searching for stray men. Too many were taken by dark spawn that way. How? There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself. A warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good widow Vilda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Bhelen stands for. Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change. Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to you. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. Ah, it's a great pleasure to meet a fellow believer. I'm Brother Burgle of the Redcliffe Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. There is resistance. It's obvious the world wasn't created by the mortal souls who dwelt within it. Yet the dwarves of Orzammar persist in worshipping their own forefathers. The Shaperate controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that. I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always.
If this chantry could help just one person as much as it helped me, it's worth any trouble.
Please let me know as soon as you've heard anything.